team, you don't have to buy nothing, but I'd like to share with you some of the things that I've been doing for 10 years now that has helped me sustain 479 pounds. When I started this journey, I was on my deathbed. I had a poop bag, a piss bag. I had tubes all through my body. I was barely breathing on my own 90% of the time. And I was overeating as often as possible. Anything I possibly could get in my body, I was eating. And the worst part of it all was I was given 30 days to live. The sad part is that at the 30-day date that I was given to die, I actually told them, it's okay. I just want to die with a full stomach. And that just goes to show you the mental health issue that can be present when it comes to the eating issues and obesity. And it can have more to do with what's going on in your mind, and your body can be a result of what's going on in your mind. So many of us are struggling and battling with our weight, but it is directly tied to our thinking, our behavior, and our actions. And so we have to take a step back from our situation, our circumstances, and even our health and wellness and say, what role is my mindset? What role is my mental health playing in my overeating, my undereating, my restricting, my right? What role is this playing? What role is my history playing? What role is my belief system playing? What role is my culture playing in my journey, right? I have a goal. I want to become rich. I want to be successful. You have to ask these questions. It's not just weight loss, guys, right? Weight loss might get you in the door, but it may be something else actually going on, right? Many of us have used our weight to shield us from hurt, pain, and a lot of things. Many of us have been so hurt in our lives that our pain, our weight is an exact representation of all the things we've actually encountered. Because every time we hurt more, we ate more. Every time they hurt us, yes, we sucked it up and we moved on, but we didn't acknowledge the eating. Hey, Angela, how are you? Hey, Dorothy, welcome in. Thank you for the likes, Dorothy. Right? Because emotional eating is tricky. Emotional eating will have you thinking just because you ate handfuls of bag of potato chips all day long that you didn't eat a whole bag of chips. Hi, beautiful. Hi, mind, body, and peace. How are you doing? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to be aware. And so what I do is we come live and we do this. Grandma, you okay? And we do, I'll be right back. Let me check the eggs I cut on, guys. Just make sure it's okay. It should be done. Maybe 10 minutes. Oh, thank you, Grandma. You want me to help you? No? Okay. I'm home with my mom and I gotta make sure she's safe. The kitchen. So, okay, here we go. Back. Sorry. Okay. Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. So without further ado, I want to get into our readings. So if you're new here and you just start following me, as I said, I'm Coach Kenya. Just click the link in my profile. It'll tell you all about me. You don't just have to look on TikTok. I'm actually been at this for a long time. So if you just Google my full name, it'll actually tell you about my company, when it was founded, who am I, what I've been doing all these years, where I've been at. Octavia, finally. It's good to see you. It'll tell you all that information so you actually can just Google me. You can just actually type in iRise Boutique and all of my information will come up and you can read more about it. A lot of people like to do that just to get validation. You can see other articles that have been written on me, other TV series or interviews that have been done on me. You can actually Google it and a lot of those will come up. So thank you, New Beauty, for coming back. So I just want to thank you guys all for being here. As I said, I'm Kenya. Nice to meet each of you. Tap where you're tuning in from and I'll give you a shout out. So what I like to do is every day I read some form of meditative, helpful self-help stuff. It's very good for your brain when you've experienced a lot of trauma and pain. Feeding your brain with positivity is mandatory. So first nugget of today's lesson. It is mandatory that you are consistently putting positive things in your brain. If you are a person who suffers from depression and anxiety and you listen to a lot of negative, cussing, aggressive, violent music, it can aid to your sadness. Okay, Washington, D.C. is in the building. Let's go, D.C. Hey, it can actually aid. So what you feed your brain is more powerful than you know, right? So what happens is you can actually trigger things to be going on with yourself, literally based on your thoughts, right? Have you ever been around someone who has something going on with them medically, but they can't find any medical cause and they call it a pseudo condition? It means that the physicians or doctors are attributing that condition to your mental health, to stress induced response, right? Because they can't seem to find any medical link. And so what they'll do is they'll then start to refer you out to outside services to look at the mental portion of it, because our mental health can trigger physical responses. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Yes, you. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Period. We can finish the live now. Thank you, my soul in peace. Let me get you. Let me get you back. Right there, bam. And the truth, the reality about that is that if when our thoughts are dark, deep, and negative, it is more difficult to lose weight consistently. So I want you to just follow this path real quick, and we're going to get to our reading. If I'm feeling sad a lot and I'm on a weight loss journey, my actual the chemicals in my body know that, right? So let me try to explain without getting all technical. So if I'm really sad, right? So say for example, I'm on a weight loss journey and I fall into depression. The reason why it becomes more difficult for me to sustain the habits that I was carrying out before I became more depressed is because my mind can and will override my desire in my body. The mind is actually stronger than your body, which is why you can meet somebody and they have one leg and they can run a marathon for 10 straight miles and not stop, because the mind actually can do way more than we give it credit for. Which means if I'm in the midst of darkness, it's going to be easier for me to cling to drama, to cling to chaos. It's going to be easier for me to seek negative stuff out. Follow what I just said. When you are already emotionally being drained, you may have a tendency to then go seek more drama, more negativity, more this, more that. And what you'll find is that your hand is in everybody's stuff, including your own, as a result of that emotional downfall, and you can't feel a way out. Because as she said, the mind thinketh so if he. If I'm depressed, my environment is depressed, the people around me are depressed, how can I have the desire and motivation to want to lose weight? Where's it going to come from? If in fact I need endorphins and dopamine to move my body to be consistent at it, but depression attacks those very productions of those chemicals, then it's likely that I could actually be in an unknown state of sadness that's hindering me and causing me to have the plateaus I'm having, because I need to check not just if I'm losing weight on the scale, but I need to check what my mindset is saying. I need to check what stories I'm telling myself inside of my brain. What stories am I feeding myself about what I'm capable of? What stories am I telling myself? See, many times the story that we're living on a lot of is based off untruths, right? Right. I have to do this because people don't. What people? Who's they? A lot of times I hear my clients say, well, I don't want, they get on my, who's they? Give them a name. There's no they. If you can't identify they as a person, who are they? Fictitious people. Well, I don't want them to think that about me. Who's them? Put a name to it, right? Sometimes we can get fixated on what we think people might do to us, but we can't identify it, which is how we know it could be driven, being driven from a negative emotion. That's why when you look at things like a meal plan, let's talk about it. Many people don't like to cook, so they won't do a meal plan. But that's a mindset thing, because how have you always ate? There hasn't always been restaurants. So at some point, or one time or another, you were familiar with cooking or someone cooking for you. So if cooking or liking to cook is a mindset and that's something you need to be successful in your journey, why would you then not focus on changing your mindset in order to address the issue at hand versus saying, I don't like that, I'm not doing it? Remember, when we are willing to change all of who we are, that's what the transformation is. The transformation isn't skipping over A to go to B. It's not skipping over C. It's not skipping over your mindset to get your waist thin, because you got to go back to your mindset. You can't cut your head off and move your body around without it. They don't function separately. They function as one. So our primary focus is moving the body, fueling the body, but fueling the mind and using your thoughts and emotions effectively. What does that mean? That means if a negative thought comes up in me that I know not to be true, then I don't need to entertain the negativity of the thought. Do you understand? How many of you run late and you always saying, I'm always late. I'm always late. I can't help it. I'm always late. Did you know that you're convincing your brain to be late? Huh? Yeah. Someone who says, I'm always clumsy. I'm clumsy. I can't help it. I'm just always. Guess what? You're going to always stay clumsy. Someone who talks about how single they are, you're always going to stay single because you're manifesting exactly what you speak. Your brain is focused on ensuring that that thing doesn't come true based on the words that are coming out of your mouth. I used to always say I can never win a raffle, and I stopped saying I couldn't win raffles. And guess what happened? I started winning raffles. There's truly a concept behind what we speak on a wellness journey will come true. If we go into a wellness journey in fear of not losing the weight, guess what's going to happen? Every time we lose a pound, we're going to gain 3 more. Every time we lose a pound, we're going to gain 3 more. Good morning, Arlisha. Oh my gosh, you guys, I got somebody from. Is this the real Arlisha? You guys, I have somebody famous in my life. Oh my gosh, is it really Arlisha? Arlisha, I follow you. I rock with you. I come to all of your lives. I comment. Is it really you though? It's probably not really. Is it really her in my life? No way. Is it really her? I need to know if it's really her though. I don't think it's really her. I don't think it was her, y'all. I love that woman. Her voice. If you do not follow Arlisha, you got to find her on TikTok. That woman's voice is it's like the heavens open up when she sings. If you have not heard her, follow her, find her on TikTok and follow her. When I tell you that woman can sing your clothes off you, okay? That woman can sing. Sing. She can put you to bed. That woman's voice is beautiful. She's a backup singer for Kelly Price, actually. She's already famous in my eyes. So, as y'all said, a famous person came in my life. So, I'm somebody. I know that was her because I follow her and I know her picture. She probably couldn't say them. Never, never. I digress. Okay, let me keep going. Okay. The primary focus here is that when our mindset can join the journey, right? Because a lot of times when we struggle with our weight so long, we kind of separate and we separate our mind from our body. And so we no longer really consider them as one. But the trick to it is to get them back on the same pathway, right? In order to do that, we have to begin to question. Good morning, good afternoon, I'm ready. Good morning, good afternoon, Judy. Good afternoon, Lowe's. And I think it's Bellman Sendova and Brittany and Tracy and Stephen. When you're able to get the mindset to meet the objective, and you can do it minus the negative thinking, the negative talk, the naysayers. When we can pursue aligning them minus the negative energy, we're more likely to have a positive experience that's sustainable because we address both the mind and the body. When we change the way we speak, the way we talk about ourselves, it is reflected in the outer portions of our body. When a person has sought true healing, mental health stability, emotional sobriety, you actually will see a physical change in them and a physiological change in them. There's a change in both spaces because the growth and the enhancement that's happening in the person is full body. I believe a transformation in its totality is a resurrection of one's soul. When we connect mind and body, we transform the whole part of us. And so we stop having to have what I like to call these yo-yo lifestyles where we can do it really good for a little bit of time, but we just can't do it for a long time. And it's because the mindset doesn't, you don't do it long enough for the mindset to engage into the activity. In order for me to have kept off 479 pounds, one of the first things I realized about 2 years into the game is that I had to keep at the forefront what I do for. Why do I look at my health? Why do I stay consistent in my health and wellness? Because I don't want to die. I have a terminal condition. I want to live forever. I want to outlive a lot of people. In order to do that, my health has to be my priority. It has to be my priority over you. It has to be my priority over your stress. It has to be my priority over my stress. It has to be my priority over everything. My health and wellness is my number one priority, and then all the other stuff. I no longer sacrifice my health for the doing of other people. If I'm not feeling well, I'm not doing it. Many of you walking around bad knees, bad back, and you helping people move out of their house. And when it was time for you to move, you couldn't find nobody. See, I'm no longer willing to sacrifice me for the sake of saying so and so helped me do it. I don't need your badge. I don't need your accolades no more. See, there was a time in my life where I was so desperate to be accepted and wanted that I would do things that would equate pain, lack, loss of money, or hurt feelings on my end for other people because I was so desperate to be wanted or welcomed into an environment. So you move and we friends. I shouldn't be moving nobody, but I might show up, move you, take my whole day, all my money, my resources, my gas up in my car, and you might not even say thank you. At the end of that, I'm hurt. You're not. You're moved in. At the end of that, I'm broken. You're not. You're moved in. At the end of that, I'm sad and lonely. You're not. You're moved in. So what I had to learn is stop allowing people to utilize my goodness for their greatness. Because if my goodness gets you a greatness and I equal a negative, that's not a give and take. Which means if I can't help you move, I just can't help you move. You would have found somebody else with or without me. So go find somebody else. The other thing I learned on my journey is regardless if I'm there or not, people are going to do what they need to do. So I stopped sacrificing myself for the sake of others because I learned that people are going to do what they want to do, even if that means minus me. You understand what I'm saying? So I had a time where I didn't speak to some people for a long time. And guess what? They continued your life. They continue to live. They continue to thrive. They continue to be. They didn't change because they didn't talk to me. They didn't stop living because I wasn't in their life. They kept pursuing. That's the same thing you should do. That's the same thing I should do. Okay? Day 68. Okay, my laptop's